This is the second in a series of 2 lessons, maybe 3, on Hendrix style rhythm guitar. It's kind of a general Hendrix thing. There'll be a little bit of stuff that you can use for neo-soul guitar playing or other rhythm playing. I kind of like the idea of being able to use chord fragments, not only for rhythm guitar playing, but also for soloing. So a lot of this is just about expanding your knowledge of the fretboard and being able to make bigger ideas. If you want lesson 1 in this, click the link below or go to markween.com and look for the Hendrix rhythm guitar lessons. And I'm going to give you a little bit of last week's example video just so you can kind of see what we're talking about. And then we're going to start with the minor chords. So the first position we're going to work on, the example is was in C major. We're going to be playing an A minor chord here, based off of the root on the 6th string 5th fret. You can also look at it as your E-shaped minor bar chord. The scale that we kind of get a lot of this stuff out of is it's kind of a minor pentatonic. It's kind of a natural minor scale. A lot of this stuff that we use ends up being an incomplete minor or a natural minor scale. On the 1st string, we're going to have the 5th and 7th frets. Right, this is the root of the chord, which is the A, and this is the 9th. Right, and knowing what these are relative to the chord is going to be important a little bit later on. On the 2nd string, we're going to have the 5th fret and the 8th fret, which is, this is the 5th of the chord, coincidentally, and then this is the minor 7th of the chord. And then on the 3rd string, we're going to have the 5th fret, which is the minor 3rd of the A minor chord, and then the 4th or 11th. And we do a lot of these where you actually strum through those 3 notes that make the minor triad, and then you have the other notes to make it some sort of melody. Now you have a full scale. You never really hear Jimmy do that. I don't really like, even like with like if you watch Nile Rodgers play rhythm guitar in this position, sometimes he'll do something like that, but he won't go, probably because this note and this note, they're an octave apart. They're the same note, and it's just not a very interesting sound by itself. So for whatever reason, we generally don't use that for this application unless we're actually playing different chord shapes. All right, so just to recap, and I'm even just going to hold my 1st finger on the 5th fret to give you a bar, and I'll play almost like chords. 7th fret on the 1st string, 5th fret on the 1st string, those are our melody notes, 8th fret, and then 5th fret on the 2nd string, 7th and then 5th fret on the 3rd string. Yeah, however you want to do that. Now on the 4th string, right, we get a lot of this is like on Little Wing, Jimmy will do this sort of thing. And what it is he's playing the 5th, 7th, and 9th frets, which gives us the minor 7, the root, and then the 2nd or 9th of the scale, which is also this note. All right. And a lot of times when we do that, it sounds pretty cool if you're able to bar the 3rd string and get that little bit of harmony going there. A lot of the Hendrix thing is that he's actually not just getting single notes, but he's getting 2 and 3 notes at a time. Nile Rodgers kind of has this approach too, where he's doing and the deal with those kinds of rhythm parts is that they flesh out the harmony without you hearing a complete chord. A lot of times, I've seen Hendrix play, instead of playing this kind of chord, he'll use this version of that major chord, where it's not just a full bar chord, but he's getting rid of the note on the 5th string. Right, and then that gives him the ability to play all those melody notes. We'll talk about that sort of thing later, but if you notice, this is actually a lot thinner sound than that because it doesn't have the 5th of the chord in the lower octave. And then with being able to put the 9th of the chord on top like that, that's where you get the Castles Made of Sand. that sort of sound. We're not really getting into that, but it also kind of gives you a little bit of insight in how he plays in that position, even if you're just dealing with a major chord. All right, so we have those notes on that string. On the fifth string, you know, you've got eighth, 7, and 5, right? And I'm not entirely certain, you know, usually, I don't know, that's kind of how I play it. Do with it what you will. We're not getting super authentic with the Hendrix thing, we're just kind of using it as a guide point. But this gives you the minor 6th, the 5th, and the 4th of the A, and then the same 3 frets on the 6th string give you the minor 3rd, the 2nd, and then the root. So that gives you all kinds of stuff you can do within just a finger's reach of your bar on the 5th string. The other one, I like this one a lot. It might be a little bit hard for you to see in the in A. I've got the A as the root on the 12th fret on the 5th string. So I'm going to bring it down here to D, all right, which is the root with the 5th fret on the 5th string. And then I'm basically playing a D minor 7 chord here. All right, so I've got the bar across all the strings except for the 6th string. We never bar a string we don't want to play. We don't want extra notes, even if they're accidentally there. I will take the tip of the 1st finger and block the 6th string from ringing. That way I can actually kind of wail on this chord and not worry about that string ringing. But I won't actually put it on top. It just thickens up the sound too much. If I was playing, like, you know, Hendrix like that, that's a specific sound. There's even Foo Fighters songs, you know, where they go for that sort of really thick, heavy sound. Not really in our wheelhouse right now for the lighter, kind of funkier stuff that we're doing. All right. On this D minor, same kind of idea. Right, the notes that actually work the best for that kind of melodicism, it's going to be your 8th fret on the 1st string to the 5th fret on the 1st string. All right, and that gives us our minor 7 and our 5, just kind of like when we were doing this one, but down a string. And then we have, this is our 4th note, or 4th of the scale on the 8th fret, 2nd string, to the minor 3rd, which is the 6th fret on that string. And then I'm going to put my pinky on the root on the 7th fret, 3rd string, to the 5th fret on the 3rd string. So you just have these 3 notes. They give you this easy thing. And it's nice, because if I wanted to go... I've got something I can do over the minor chord with the root on the 5th position. All right. So it's just a real quick lesson, how to find some notes that you can be melodic with against the 6th string root minor chord and the 5th string root minor chord. We're going to get into a few other things, odds and ends, next week to kind of wrap this series of lessons up. And until then, my suggestion is to maybe take a chord progression you're familiar with and just use last week's lesson, all of this stuff, for the major sounds, all right, and then this week's lessons, and just practice making your own melodies.